Yeah, this was back in 2000. Okay, so let's backstory. These guys are former teammates. These guys are former teammates on the Ravens. Okay, towards the end of Shannon's career, he ended up with Baltimore. All right, do me a favor in the meantime, please hit the like button. Okay, this was back in 2001. What did Sharpe say? He said, "This is a great guy. I wish you all could know this guy personally and look at him in a different light than the media has exploited him to be." Okay? He admitted he made a mistake. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I've said this before and I'll say it 1,000 times. If he had not been Ray Lewis, if he had not been an all-pro player, Ray Lewis would have never, ever, ever been implicated. Okay? He continues to say, they took a longer time to charge Ted Bundy, who killed 30 people. It took them, 24 hours to charge this man. Whether or not they knew he did it or not, they had Ray Lewis. So they say, if we get Ray Lewis, if we don't get anybody else, guess what we got? We got Ray Lewis. They made a fatal mistake. He continues to say, you know what? The Ravens we got the Defensive Player of the Year, and I just wish all the media, all 2,700 of you, would play up him being Defensive Player of the Year, him being the best defensive player in the entire NFL, with the same passion, with the same prejudice as you run that. That's all he asks. Give him a fair statement. We can't get none of that. They ran it over and over about the orange coveralls on TV. The man couldn't comb his hair and shackled and leg irons. Give him the same kind of press about being Defensive Player of the Year. Give him the same kind of press for being the Player of the Year. He is the best football player, bar none. Sharpe also incorrectly, Lewis said Lewis had been exonerated of all charges, although murder charges were dropped. Lewis pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor obstruction of justice. Listen, if they thought they had something on this man, you don't plead with a man that you think committed double murder, I can assure you. Did they do that with Ray Caruth? They pleaded this man. You know why? They know they didn't have a case. They knew they made a mistake, but they could not come out and say it publicly that they made a mistake. After the team picture, we were walking off and I said, guys, I'm going to take this in for a second, said Dilfer. Okay. All right. Shannon Sharpe did this back in 2001. Okay. Back in 2001. I can't believe it was that long ago. This was 25 years ago, y'all. This was a double murder case. Okay? This was a double murder case. The killings remain unsolved. Only Lewis pleaded guilty in relation to the case for obstruction of justice, a misdemeanor. He was originally charged with 2 counts of murder, but struck a deal with prosecutors in exchange for his testimony against 2 of his companions that night, Reginald Oakley and Joseph Sweeting. Okay? A couple of weeks ago, the family of the incident in 2000, and I'm paraphrasing, but it goes something like this. While Ray Lewis is being celebrated by millions, 2 men tragically and brutally died in Atlanta. Ray Lewis knows more than Ray Lewis ever shared. What would you like to say to the family? Ray says it's simple. God has never made a mistake. That's just who he is, you see. And if our system, this is the sad thing about our system, if our system took the time to really investigate what happened 13 years ago, maybe they would have got to the bottom line truth. To the family, if you really knew the way God works, he don't use people who commits anything like that for his good. No way. It's the total opposite. Okay? Then Lewis turns the blame to authorities investigating the case and suggests their singular focus on him hindered the investigation. Everybody knows Ray Lewis is a hothead. Okay? It's common knowledge that Ray Lewis is a hothead. You know what? Let's see what can we find, what we think sparked. Let's see. Okay, so what happened? Fight broke out. Of course, it's in Buckhead. The victims, Richard Lallar and Jacinth Baker, died from knife. See what I'm telling y'all? These knife wounds, man. Getting stabbed up. I'd rather get shot than stabbed. Lewis lied to police initially, claiming he didn't know his co-defendants. So there's the obstruction of justice. A limousine driver, Dwayne Fassett, testified he saw Lewis strike one of the victims and heard Oakley and Sweeting say, "I stabbed mine." Okay, so then they dropped the charges and he testified against his co-Ds. Right. At the trial, the jury determined the killings were acts of self-defense, and the case against Lewis's companions concluded with this finding. Okay. Lewis was attending a Super Bowl party with some friends, and a fight broke out. 2 men were stabbed to death. Okay. During the investigation, blood from one of the victims was found in Lewis's limousine. Lewis eventually testified against his friends during trial. Murder charges were dropped in exchange for his testimony against his friends. Now, because Ray Lewis is a civilian, this is not called snitching. Okay. He received 12 months probation. The white suit he was wearing that night has never been found. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, let's see what else. Suffering from a torn triceps injury, Lewis returned to the field faster than most at 37 years old. That raises some eyebrows. Reports then surfaced about him using deer antler spray. A medical term is IGF-1. It's a type of growth hormone that can help athletes recover faster from injuries. This is also a banned substance by the NFL. Did he use it? I honestly don't know, but it's something to think about. He came back from an injury that would have ended most players' seasons. He did this at the ripe age of 37. Okay. Let's see here. As a football player, I will greatly miss him. The NFL isn't going to be the same without him, but for a man that claims God doesn't make mistakes, he should be smart enough to know that men do make mistakes. Maybe it's time Ray stops preaching and starts actually speaking the truth about that night and PEDs. Now, fast forward 25 years later, and how does Ray Lewis repay Shannon Sharpe, Shannon Sharpe's loyalty? Well, you're going to see. You're going to see.
Shannon Sharpe, did you think he was one day going to be a good TV guy personality?
Yeah.
So you knew he was made for TV?
Yeah.
And would he say he's going to do it?
Yes, he had already started prepping.
How much before he retired did he tell?
He'd been started.
Oh, so he's known he's going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So you're not surprised by the success he's having with his podcast and TV and him and Skip and Stephen A., all that stuff?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked at his content. I wouldn't, in a million years, the things that Shannon has said now or did now, I would never believe that Shannon would say or do any of these things.
Like what?
Simply, I take drinking. Shannon, in my entire career, I've never saw Shannon with a drink. Ever. Like it was against the law, right? Because he had some stuff in his family that he didn't want to follow that. And then so I kind of started to watch him, and then we kind of went our own separate ways because I'm like, you're going to take that route. I can't go that route. Never can go that route. And that route is to become so worldly that you become popular because you're talking about ignorance.
Now, this is coming from a man that never missed a party. Okay, this is coming from a man that never missed a worldly party. Now, I get it. People were different 25 years ago. Mindsets are different. You're half the age. But 25 years ago, Ray Lewis was pushing 40, right? Or mid-30s. 25 years ago, Ray was mid-30s. Yeah? He's in his mid-30s. Okay.
right? A lot of times, a lot of these gossip conversations that they're having and bringing up all this stuff, I'm not going to do that to nobody. I'm not in the business for that. I'm in life to try to teach people what does it mean to be a better man or get back to the kingdom, you know? And a lot of times, like, and a lot of the guys get in trouble with these podcasts and things, man, because everybody wants the follower. Everybody.
Wait. Doesn't Ray Lewis do a podcast? Let me go look. How you gonna judge this man for doing something you're doing as well, sir? Everybody's doing a podcast. Oh, look here. Ray Lewis has hosted 2 main podcasts focused on personal. You know what? Let me show y'all. Let me see. I'm at 142. Let's look at the hypocrisy from Mr. Worldly himself. So, aren't you're doing the same thing? Everyday Greatness, the Ray Lewis podcast, and Tackling Life, which he co-hosted with Dr. Christian Conti. You can find Everyday Greatness on platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And Tackling Life is also available on Apple Podcasts. What is he talking about? Features compelling interviews, personal stories, and life lessons from Lewis and his legendary friends as they explore what inspires and motivates greatness. Themes include achieving championship mentality through principles like gratitude, trust, and mindfulness. Tackling Life, high energy podcast where Ray Lewis partners with sports psychologist Dr. Christian Conti to discuss how the lessons of sports can be applied to build a happier, more successful life. Explores concepts like setting goals, overcoming obstacles, and pushing through disappointments. Okay, so the only difference is the content. Okay. The only difference is the content. And he gets stupid numbers off the content that you don't ascribe to. And that's okay. And that's okay. And that's okay. That is okay. Interesting.